What's up, everybody? Welcome to another DDLive. Gloria. Is that the right pitch? Everybody dance. Come on now, let's go. Gloria.
How's it gonna go down?
Well, let me take a
Will
drink.
you meet him on the main line?
Or will you catch him on the rebound?
Will you marry for the money?
Take a lover in the afternoon, everybody.
Take the lover in the afternoon.
Yes.
Innocence slipping away. Don't believe it's coming back soon.
My beautiful, beautiful people. How is everybody doing? Let me say my hellos. Oh my God. It feels like it's been a while. Hopefully the stream doesn't get taken. Sometimes when I select a song, I'm just kind of, shooting in the dark. Like I did Rob Zombie, the one last week, and that one got taken down. And then I had to have YouTube edit it. But yeah, sometimes it's worth it for the music though, right guys? So I guess that's why you should catch it live. Catch it live, right? Fuck it, we'll do it live. Adrian James, Brandon, the Belton, Erica, Some Neat, Richard Strange, Death Punch 70, Rick Michaels, Aaron Click, Chester, what's up, brother? Mark Jones, Ashton, Destiny, how are you doing? Nicholas Vincent, Logan Davidson, Polly, how are you doing, Polly? Dappa Dog, love it. Shelby, how are you doing? Lance Chafin, Vinny. I'm seeing a lot of people flowing in here. David Thorson, nice to see you. Blazing Asian, nice. Brett, Good Real Hunting, how you doing? I got me a haircut today. Oh my God, I needed a haircut. How often do you guys get a haircut? Now I know the women might be a little bit different than them. Like ladies, how often do you get a haircut? And men, how often do you get a haircut? I get it once a month. Sometimes I've gone once every month and a half. But, I know when I need a haircut when my neck starts, your neck starts getting hairy. I hate that. That drives me nuts. Women don't get hair on their necks, though, do they? I don't think they do. I don't know. Women are just so much cleaner than us guys. Yeah, Nicholas says monthly. I haven't cut my hair since September 2022. See, yeah, and I bet there's a lot of women folk that are like that. They Crystal Gale it. They can go forever without getting a haircut. Erica, twice a year. There you go. I get mine cut every other month. Rosemary, nice. Gory Tiger, how you doing? Garrett Peck. Yeah, I like knowing more about you guys. I shave my head once a week, Jonathan Nichols. Awesome. Brandon, maybe every few months or so for me. Nice. Dave Vanderhoff, he says, I get a haircut every 3 weeks. Yeah. Now, when I was in the military, we had a saying in the military, a good airman never needs a haircut. It's really cheesy and stupid, I know, but I would get it cut once every 2 weeks. Some guys in the military, they would get it cut every week. They couldn't go a week without a haircut. Me, I was just normal. And by the way, guys, sometimes people will ask me, "Hey, did you have to get the high and the tight when you were in the military?" Some people think that. No, you could have a normal haircut, but you just have to have it above your ears. It can't be touching your ears, and in the back, it can't be thicker than I think a 1/4 inch. That was the and a lot of you have probably mostly seen me with a little bit of a beard. And guys, just know that when I was in the military, I never had this. Never had a beard. I always was clean shaven for 24 years. Yeah, I would get a little bit of stubble on the weekends or if I was on leave. But yeah, hey, Word Channel 13 or WDRD 13, 1 month. Thank you, good sir. What's up with Late Night with the Devil? It's awesome. I love Late Night with the Devil. Kind of ties into one of my topics tonight too, about this year might go down as one of the best years in horror in a long time, just because it's off to a freaking banging start. Okay, it's definitely off to a banging start. Jesus. Let's see. We've already had Late Night with the Devil. We've had The First Omen. We've had Immaculate. Those are like, and on all three of those are like phenomenal. They're not just okay, they're phenomenal horror films. And we're only in April, and we still got, I'm going to go ahead and say it, I guarantee you Maxine's going to be amazing. And there's probably at least maybe 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 really great horror movies ahead of us. So I don't know, how are you guys, am I wrong on that? Are you guys thinking it's kind of a meh year for horror? Or are you quite pleased with everything that's gone on so far? Destiny, you got to check out Late Night with the Devil. It's the novelty film of the year. You know, it's like the Blair Witch of the year, kind of like that. Not that it's anything like Blair Witch, but you know what I mean. It's just the novelty. It's filmed in a different way. It feels like you're watching late night television, but it's a horror movie. You know. Oh my God, Abigail, yeah, Abigail and A Violent Nature. Thank you. Those two are probably gonna be up there. It's a really, really good year so far. I have a great feeling about the end. I got a great feeling that by the time I'm doing my end of year list, the horror, my number 10 is probably going to be like amazing. It's like, it's going to be stacked this year. And, you know, I think on my worst list, I might have a tough time coming up with 10 really bad horror movies by the end of the year. Now, I think there are a lot of horror movies that I just don't see. I'm not like Jason from Sinister Cinema Reviews. Man, he watches just about everything that comes out. He gives everything a chance, which is awesome. And I just don't have time to sit down and give everything a chance like I would like to. So I guess on Sundays I could park myself. Like I did get up and I watched Splinter from 2008. That's not new. I watched that because it's a patron request, but I was glad I watched that. It was pretty interesting, actually, and I recorded a review for that. Now, I watched Raw Deal. Schwarzenegger, and you can see it behind me there, pretty much where my thumb is. Boom, right there, yeah. Raw Deal. I watched that because I have a soft spot for that movie. I remember renting it on VHS back in the mid-'80s, like 86 is when it came out. And I remember I went over to my friend's house. I had a friend, and he had one of those, the big, thick VCR that has it pops out, you know, out the top, and you slide the cassette in there. You know, and it weighed like 100 pounds, you know, like you need 2 people to carry the damn thing. And I remember we rented Raw Deal because this was after Commando came out. You know, he would put out like a movie every year. And I was so excited to see Raw Deal. And I remember really enjoying it, but it's not Commando. It's definitely not that flavor. It's definitely got some action in it, but it's different. It's different. So I really enjoyed watching that so much this morning that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to record a review because sometimes I do that. This is for me. This is for me. This will get 37 views. You know, it seems like the YouTube tide is changing. And if you don't review, like, at least in my space, if you don't review like the newest movie as quick as possible, then your views might suffer, you know? Whereas I remember back in the day when I first started YouTube, I could put out a catalog review and there was a good chance that it could get some good views, like say freaking Last House on the Left remake, you know? And I guarantee you today, if I review a movie of that caliber, and I'm talking about like production budget, studio, all that stuff, that's old, I probably wouldn't get the views that I did back then. I think YouTube, the algorithm has changed. It's different now. And I think it's geared more towards the newer stuff, which is sad to me. It bums me out, you know, because I love what I do, but sometimes you want to talk about those old movies. And you can't count on those. You can't always count on those views, you know? So, I mean, hell, just even sometimes the newer stuff, like I reviewed Monkey Man, I think like a week after it came out, and it didn't get any views, you know? It got like, I think it's at like 700 views right now. But, you know, if you do the newer stuff early, then I'm averaging around like 5,000 views a video, you know? So It's the YouTube mindfuck. That's what I always call it, the YouTube mindfuck. But I think I got a jam-packed show for you tonight. I got some troll comments. I went through and I gathered, because if they're really good through the years, I saved them. And I'd say I got at least like maybe a dozen, maybe 15, something like that, troll comments that some of them are quite old that I've gathered through the years. And I figured one day I'll show off some of these, and not all of them are troll comments. But do you guys want to get into that right now? We can start with the troll comments, and then we can go into the news. Or would you guys rather start with the news? I'll let you pick. And I do have funnies too, so you're going to get a lot of, I guess, comedic content tonight. So yeah. Troll comments. All right, you guys want troll comments? That's what you're going to get. And yeah, let me go over there. Gloria! Man, I tell you, what's a song, guys, that when you hear it, it takes like at least like 3 months to get out of your head? I think Gloria is that song for me. You know, I can't get it out of my head whatsoever. What's up, Jesse? How are you doing? Greetings from Norway. Thank you, Daniel. Nice to have you here. All right, let's do some troll comments. I think I put them under topical slides. Yeah, here we go. And granted, and I might not even know which movie these are referring to, but I think you'll get the context for most of them. And some of them aren't troll comments; they're just general comments. But maybe they're a little bit mean-spirited, or maybe I'm trolling. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the asshole in some of them. You know. But I thought there was something fun about all of them, right? And maybe there's a little bit of you get a little bit of lesson, maybe a little bit of YouTube etiquette out of them. I don't know. We'll see. Rock Me Amadeus. Yeah, that's definitely one you can't get out of your head. Another one is Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Relax. That one's a tough one to get out of your head for sure. Sweet Home Alabama, that's a good example. Rosemary. Queen, Somebody to Love. Yes, definitely. Also, Queen is We Will Rock You. Which, guys, this annoys me. I'll talk about this real quick. This annoys me. They always got to play We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions together. They can never be separated, even though they're two separate songs. And sometimes I just want to hear We Will Rock You, and I don't need to hear We Are the Champions, and vice versa. So it does get on my nerves sometimes. And then the flip side of that is Green Day. The song Brain Stew, this is the opposite of what they do with Queen. Have you guys ever noticed this on your butt rock station? They will play Brain Stew, but they won't play the song that goes with it, which I can't remember the name of it, but it's more of like a really fast, it kicks into a really fast punk rock style song. And that's my favorite part of the song, of Brain Stew. And it drives me nuts that they cut it off right before that song. I'm complaining, okay? But it drives me freaking jaded. Thank you, Liana. Thank you, and welcome, Liana. Yeah, Jaded. Freaking drives me crazy. I love Jaded so freaking much, and I'm like almost in tears at the end of Brain Stew because I'm like, are they going to do it? Are they going to play it? And every now and then, like once out of every 250 times, they'll play Jaded. But most of the time, they fucking don't. Drives me nuts. Maneater's a good example too, yeah. Maneater you can't get out of your head. All right, here we go. Jumping into the troll comments. Okay. I'm going to try to guess which review this was about too, or video. I thought this was just a horror review channel, or you just reviewing mainstream movies like this just to get views and likes. So he's stating that I'm doing mainstream just to get, which is, I mean, that's fine. Some people, that's all they do. They do the mainstream stuff, you know? I mean, if you know my channel, I actually do a lot of deep cuts and stuff like that. But, you know, he didn't know that, right? So I said, I've always reviewed non-horror content. I always tell people I'm 85% horror. Basically, I talk about whatever I want. My goal is to get 0 clicks. So I always have to end it with kind of a jab at them. You fucking asshole. So, yeah. Maybe I'm the asshole in that. Was it, and let me know, guys. Was I too hard? Say, Lee, you were a little bit too hard on that guy. Maybe I was. All right. Next one. This one's called Unsub. I've talked about this before. You lost my sub at Candyman. That movie sucked bad. And so I said, so you're not watching my... I can't read my own. Hold on. So you're not watching my vids anymore because we disagree on one movie? Seriously? By the way, not trying to get you to reconsider. Unsub all you want. Just a weird reaction. Happy trails. And that's not a funny one. I've always found this behavior weird. And I do see these a lot, actually. If you don't like X movie, then I have to unsub your channel. You know? And I get if you dislike, like if we disagree on everything, okay, I get that, go ahead. But you just came to my channel. Actually, he probably didn't because he's already subbed. So I don't know. Sometimes I try to decipher these and I can't. Like I would never unsub a channel that I really like because we disagreed on a movie. A movie, you know? I don't get it. It's weird. Okay, next one is, I called it Tomato. Let's see, Tomato. Here we go. Porn stars aren't actresses, they're just prostitutes. I have no idea what video this was on, but I put tomatoes aren't a fruit. I don't even know what I was talking. I didn't know what he was talking about, so I just put, you know, it's kind of like where I got hot relish from, right? You know, there's a bad joke that a friend of mine told me ages ago. What do you get? What do you get when you have sex with an elephant? And I put hot relish. It makes no sense whatsoever. So that's what that is. Tomatoes aren't a fruit, okay? Porn stars aren't actresses. They're just prostitutes. There you go, all right? I don't know what that means. All right. This next one is Talk Too Much, and I'll go quickly past this one because I did share this one not too long ago, but it cracked me up. You talk too much, and I kind of have to. If you like, I can do silent reviews. You know, and maybe it's a flavor. Some people like the quick reviews, you know. You want the quick little 5-minute reviews. These are the pros, these are the cons. Boom, I'm out. And most of the time, I don't like doing that. I like actually talking about how the movie made me feel personally. If I can tie any kind of personal experience to the movie, especially if I'm doing like older movies, that's always fun, right? I mean, when I go into any review, I look at it as a challenge to actually do something different than everybody else. I don't always succeed, but I literally sit there and I try to think, what is something that maybe other people aren't bringing up about this or aren't talking about? Maybe I can do that, you know? And sometimes it takes me a while to get there, you know? Because oftentimes too, especially lately, I don't really look at my notes when I'm reviewing. I like to just kind of go stream of consciousness. And yeah, he's right. Sometimes I can get a little long-winded. It happens. So, but yeah. All right, next one. This one is Sting. Maybe this is off of the Sting review. Yeah, my voice cracked. Okay. Hey, buddy. I did not know this spot. Oh, okay. This is on me, guys. All right, this is on me. Hold on, let me get this. Finished my script. I based a character on you. DEF CON Prime Experience. Thank you, DEF CON. All right, that sounds cool. That sounds cool. I hope I'm not an asshole. Although you're probably right if I am an asshole. All right. Hey, buddy, I did not know this spider is an alien. I have not seen this film yet. I would have had no idea that the opening explains its origin. That would have been a cool reveal in the theater. The creature's origin is in none of the marketing. Why the fuck would you spill that? What's wrong with you? And I asked him if he needed a hug. Because here's the thing, guys. And maybe I'm wrong here because there's different types of moviegoers in terms of spoilers. All right. And I get that. Some people, my daughter, she doesn't care if anything spoils. I could read the entire plot of this movie and I'm fine to go into it. And then there's my son, who is the exact opposite of that. He's better off not watching reviews, and he usually doesn't try to watch reviews because he wants to go in knowing absolutely nothing. All right, nothing. Here's my take on mild spoilers, and I'll give him that. But this was at the very beginning of the movie. The very beginning of the movie. So I didn't really think this would affect anybody's... Like, this wasn't a big reveal at all. And honestly, if you watch the trailer for Sting, right after you watch that trailer, if I told you that spider came from space, I don't think you'd be surprised. Just the way the trailer pans out. They let you know that there's something off about this spider. there's a scientist in the trailer that, he says, hey, this isn't like a normal spider. So after I watched the trailer before I saw the movie, immediately I thought, okay, this spider is not a normal spider. He could be from space. He could be like what do you call it? Like two species that are combined with each other. I don't know. But this guy got a little bit too upset, and he might be just one of those people that just likes knowing nothing. And that's fine. Nothing. All right. So I'm not going to apologize for that. All right. If I reveal something that's in the final act of the movie, then that's on me. Okay. But if I tell you the very beginning of the movie, then I'm not going to apologize for that. I just can't. I don't have time. All right. Next one, 0 clicks. This one's called 0 clicks. Oh, and let me get rid of. Oh. What am I doing? Hold on. Did I read this one? Yeah, I read that one. Okay, let me go. Hold on. I'm trying to roll through these because I don't want to bore you guys. All right. Okay, next one. This one's another spoiler one, I think. Now, this one, I'm going to say it right now. This guy's an idiot, all right? I'm sorry. Sometimes I just got to call it like it is. This guy's an idiot. Not really cool to make a spoiler video. And let me preface this. The video literally said spoiler review, okay? You need to know that, all right? Why is it not cool to make a spoiler video? As long as I'm upfront about it. And, I'm being upfront. Let's just say Halloween Kills spoiler review, all right? And he says, maybe because we don't want to know and discover it by ourselves. And then I say, oh, okay, so that's easy. Don't watch the video. I wasn't giving him a smart ass, but I just sometimes, are people really that stupid? Like, I don't like calling people stupid, all right? I hate calling people stupid, but you know what? That guy's fucking stupid, all right? If the video literally says spoiler review, then I got nothing for you. All right? And I don't have time for your dumb ass, all right? Jesus. Don't watch the video. That's all you got to do. Don't click on something that says spoiler review. Wow. You know what? Before I did YouTube, I gave people the benefit of the doubt, and I thought there's no way that people are that dumb on this planet. But it turns out they do exist. All right. So next one. This one's called. I said sounds, but I didn't see the rest of it. Okay. This one's a vinyl one. It says, the vinyl community, they do get a little bit uptight if you use the wrong terminology, and I don't happen to be in that space. I'm more in the horror space, but sometimes we have hobbies outside of our own normal space. I happen to love vinyl, all right? But sometimes, I'll get the terminology mixed up. So he says, I'm sorry to say that is a vinyl player in name only. Vinyl lovers must be pulling their hair out. Which that shot, like, why would you pull your hair out over that? And I said, that's funny because when I put the record on, I put the needle on, its sounds come out. And that's all I'm looking for, right? That's all I'm looking for. As long as those sounds come out of that record, I don't give a shit what I call it, okay? So that's why I could never be accepted into the actual vinyl community. Because sometimes I'll slip up and I'll call it a vinyl player. It happens, all right? I'm wrong, but it happens. Most of the time I call it a record player. I'm learning, guys, okay? I'm learning. All right. Next one. This is, Lee just making stuff up. That Nev and Melissa have been in the same room talking. Crazy. You're literally just making this scenario up. And I asked him what's his favorite Happy Meal toy. Because I'm not going to go into a video just making shit up. Although some YouTubers do that. And maybe he got me mixed up with somebody else that does. But when I do like news updates, I go off of information that I've gathered. If it's a rumor, I say it's a rumor. If it's speculation on my part, like I remember this video, I said I had heard that Nev Campbell and Melissa Barrera got in a room. I didn't say for a fact that they got in a room. I said there's been rumors going around that they actually got into a room, and but nobody knows for sure. And maybe you guys know more than I do about that, but I'm always really careful about how I present any like horror updates, right? I just don't like make shit up, okay? So yeah. Next one. This one's called Lee McGay. This guy sucks. Unsubscribed. And I said, this has to be from the future because it's my profile picture, and they just changed the name to Lee McGay. And that's a John Connor troll comment. That's what that is, okay? Maybe it is me from the future. Maybe I changed my name to Lee McGay, right? I don't know. Could happen. Okay. Next one. I do have a few troll clone accounts out there I've seen, and they'll pop up in like other people's videos. But they're not smart because you can usually tell if it's me or if it's not. Their true colors come out rather quickly. So, yeah. Next one. This take sucks, man. You want real, then watch The Dark Knight, bro. A guy who isn't a fan of the Ant-Man movies isn't a fan of the new one. What a surprise, bro. Laugh my ass off. By the way, if you start any comment with LOL or LMAO, I usually don't take you seriously. And I said, are you mad because I didn't like it? Am I wrong because I didn't like it? Are you a genius because you like this movie that you haven't seen yet? Yeah, he hadn't seen the movie yet, by the way, guys. Just trying to figure you out. I can't even decipher that, And out of all the movies to go to war for, the third Ant-Man movie, like I could get it if it was like, maybe one of the Avengers movies or something like that, and you want to die on that hill. But you're wanting to die on the Ant-Man 3 hill. That you just wasted your hill, right? All right. Next one. For God's sakes, it's a movie. Nothing is, guys, we always see these comments. Just turn your brain off. And yeah, I got no problem with turning my brain off and enjoying a movie, okay? But as a reviewer, you don't want to just say it's good. You actually want to try to talk about the things that you liked, the things that you didn't like. But some people, they take the things you didn't like to heart. So he says, for God's sakes, it's a movie. Nothing is going to compare to the original. Go to the movies and have some fun, eat some popcorn, and enjoy it. Yes, everyone is entitled to an opinion, but don't go picking apart every single thing wrong with it. And so I said, okay, for any future reviews, I'll just say it was fine or it sucked. Because that's basically what you're wanting me to do. You're wanting me to cherry pick the things that I like and dislike about the movie, and that's just not how I work. I got to be fair with those two aspects. If I'm going to tell you 5 things that I dislike about the movie, I'm going to try to tell you everything that I dislike about the movie too, and vice versa. I don't cherry pick likes and dislikes. And plus, I think it's helpful to the viewer to know some things up front. This is something I didn't like about this movie, and maybe it's something you might look out for. It might be something you don't like too, and this is something that I thought was really awesome about how the movie presented this certain thing. And I think you guys are going to get a kick out of it when you see that. Right. So, yeah. All right. Next one. It says, I can't take your unfocused rambling and inability to do any research. Aaron Norris was the stunt coordinator anymore. Unsubscribe. And you like who you like. I don't become an expert for every movie that I review. I just don't have time. I'm an expert in some movies, that I grew up with. But if I don't get the stunt coordinator's name right, I'm gonna be fine. I can go about my day. It's not the biggest thing. These are called actually comments. We get them all the time, and some people, especially when you're reviewing a movie that's near and dear to their heart, they want you to present every factual item, down to the letter, and don't dare mess up anything. I got this recently too with Dune Part 2. Jesus. The fucking Dune fans come out and they get so damn mad if you mispronounce, if you call it Freeman instead of Fremen. Oh my God, you're an asshole. You're an idiot. People take movies way too seriously sometimes. I do too. Okay, we're all kind of weird like that, I guess. So I put, you're my number 1 fan. Apparently, you constantly post negative shit on my videos. Yeah, and this guy just, sometimes when you're going through your comments and there's a name that'll pop up like that freaking idiot, and if you really dislike my videos this much, why do you constantly comment? Like, I swear, like freaking 20 videos, this they come and go, right? Like, I haven't seen this guy in a long time, but there was a good run of like freaking 20 videos. Like, he was just wanting to bash me and bash me and bash me. And so, is there a GoFundMe to get you laid? I'd like to donate, because I guarantee you this guy has not been laid in a long time, because if he did, he'd relax. But, he's an incel, right? And that's what they do. That's their life. Their life is every goddamn detail of a movie, right? Next, God, I'm sounding ornery. Jesus. Sorry, guys. All right, next one. This dude does everything except watch the movie, laugh out loud. He makes a video, grills a burger, mows the lawn, gives the dog a bath. This was on one of my D-Watch videos. And if you've never seen one of my D-Watch videos, it's definitely something different, okay? Because it's me talking about the movie, but then I'll give the dog a bath, or I'll freaking go grill a burger. It's almost like a day in the life while I'm watching a movie. That's what a D-Watch is. And people tend to like them. So he was actually being cool and funny about it. And I put it's the only way to properly review a movie for me. So, yeah. Sean, what's up, brother? How you doing? Okay. Yeah, D-Watches are definitely a different animal. Okay. And I definitely need to get some more going. I haven't done one in a while. All right. Next one. This is an old one. Okay, this is probably like 8-9 years old, this comment. I dug it up. All right, it says, "You look nice in this skin color. Why you turn yourself into dark skin? That don't look like you." I have no idea how to answer that. Sometimes maybe I'll look a little bit. Maybe it's like after I review something, I adjust. I color grade. And maybe sometimes my lighting could be a little bit too dark and a little bit, I don't know. So my skin tone's not going to always be the same in every video. But that's just a weird comment, okay? It's just a really weird comment. I didn't even respond because I still to this day don't know how to respond to that, all right? But apparently he likes me with a lighter skin color. So really weird. All right, next one. What makes you think people want to look at you for 15 minutes? Get real, you narcissistic nobody. That's my favorite. When you just straight out attack me, that's awesome. Those are my favorite types of troll comments. And I blow them a kiss, because that's just great. Like, this makes me happy. Like, if I get this stuff, then this is just the best, I'm a narcissistic nobody. What makes you think I want to listen to you for 15 minutes? By the way, I've had people listen. They'll click on the video. They'll watch the entire video. And then they'll make a comment referencing something at the end of the video. And they're like, they wish they didn't watch it. So, like, if you hate watching me ramble for 15 minutes, then wouldn't you turn it off after like maybe 2 minutes? I don't know. Kind of weird. But yeah, some people, they just go for the throat, They go for the jugular. And by the way, I posted this one on my Facebook, and I said almost landed a beautiful Derek today. That was the best thing I could say, almost landed a beautiful Derek, cuz isn't that a great profile name, Beautiful Derek? I love that. Okay. Adrian, Lee, you still look good. Thank you, Adrian. I appreciate that. I thought you said, Lee, you still good? And I'm like, after these comments, I might need some therapy. Here you go. You are a brown-nosing tool of the left. This is a terrible movie. And I love Tool. This is I got a few of these from this Civil War movie. But as soon as I saw Civil War, hell, even before I saw Civil War, I was like, oh boy, here come I can't wait. I can't wait to look at the troll comments, okay? Because I liked the movie that literally takes the middle, it drives right down the middle. It's a road trip movie, funny enough, but it literally drives right down the middle politically. You know, I think it does it quite well actually too. And but I knew it. Some would find a way to get offended by the movie, but I honestly didn't know people would go this far, that would take it that personally, because there's a lot more movies that lean one way or the other, far more than this movie. Really, I don't think this movie does at all. You know, I was like looking for something to maybe lean one way, but it doesn't. It doesn't. So, but you know, sometimes they go for the jugular and they call me a brown nosing tool of the left, which, by the way, guys, I've said this before. I'm not a political person. You know, I don't consider myself right or left. It's not a cop-out. I've always been that way. I just, you know, I love horror. I love horror movies. You know, I love people in general. I love people from all different walks of life. I love people from the right and I love people from the left. I wish they could just get along. And maybe my military background helped. And this is ironic because a lot of people think the military is straight up on the right. That's not really the case, you know. It's probably I'd say there's more people on the right than the left. But being in the military, I ran into so many different religions and different political opinions. And you know what? I never got into one argument in 24 years with anybody politically in the military. That's the cool thing about the people in the military. And not just me, but I never witnessed two other people, you know, getting into a political argument. That's just something that you don't see in the military. And some of you might be in the military and you'd probably agree with me on this. I just never saw it. So, but you do get a lot of people that aren't from the military that really, you know, their life is politics and they take everything to heart and they take it so seriously. And it's just interesting human behavior, you know, to me. I don't let politics rule my life at all. So, yeah. Next one. This one's called Great Popcorn Movie. I got this one today. So I figured I'd share it with you guys. Saying this is off of Mask of Zorro, okay? The Antonio Banderas movie. Saying this is a popcorn movie is just a plain simpleton. It's applying normie logic, which is the lowest common denominator. So he's already attacking me. The movie is Count of Monte Cristo. It's about duty, suffering, discipline, and sacrifice. It's about consuming yourself with fixation on existing revenge, but also about letting go of it and finding a higher purpose again. This is valid for both Alejandro and Diego, as they both get subtle character arcs. And I said, yeah, it's also a great popcorn movie. I think you can have popcorn. You can have your yin and your yang. You can have popcorn movies that have substance, right? You don't have to have, like, does every popcorn movie have to be just the, you know, a super thin layer of entertainment? Can there be no depth in a popcorn movie, right? Like, are you serious? Hey, Carly, how are you doing? I saw Trina in there too. Yeah. I think you can have your cake and eat it too with a popcorn movie. Hell, I'll even say this right now. I think Aliens is a popcorn movie. And it's one of the greatest action movies ever made. Okay? Because it does have substance. But, you know, if you're gonna call me a plain simpleton, and I liked the movie, right? You know, I really liked the movie. So we both agree that the movie's good. And by the way, guys, those attributes that he's talking about, I literally explained in the review. I talked about Diego and Alejandro and how it was, you know, sort of like Count of Monte Cristo. So apparently, I don't know if he didn't watch the review, but yeah, it happens. It's weird people, man. Just weird people. That's the rare occasion where you have a commenter agree with you 100% on a movie and still attack you. That's pretty impressive, if you ask me. Okay. This is called Children's Parties. Children's Parties, okay? The screenplay is written from the view that unironically advocates unquestionable authoritarianism. he's a genius, probably because you're an actual I can't even say it, so how could I be it? Authoritarian. And I said, are you available for children's parties? What the fuck? Again, this was for Civil War. Like, Jesus, these people. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So, guys, by the way, I'm an authoritarian. Okay, there you go. All right. Yeah, that was it. That was it for the troll comments. Okay, that was fun. Jesus. Let me take a drink. Wow. Man, you know what though? I love. And by the way, guys, troll comments are like literally 2% of my. Like 98% of my comments are from the kindest, nicest people from all walks of life that you could possibly imagine. Most of them are quite level-headed too, and they don't take everything so seriously. And they're just really sweet, good people. And I love commenting with them as well. But sometimes I can't resist a good troll comment. All right, guys. Real quick, let's run through the news. First thing I want to talk about is I did a trailer reaction for Days of Sodom. They are on their campaign for the phase 2, and if you saw the trailer, this trailer is really, really good. You know what? The trailer's I think a minute and a half. I'll play the trailer for you real quick, just so you can see it. And over the next 32 days, right now I think it's 30 days, we're wanting to raise $50,000 to finish this film. We've shot like a portion of it, and I think and 50,000 would get us the rest of the way. But here is the teaser trailer, okay? Just in case you haven't seen it.
They say no one but God has ever come back from the grave. Last night, for reasons unknown to me, I was granted an exception. I watched you change. At first, I didn't know why I was back. Everything was a fog. Just fragments of memories scattered through my head like broken glass. But I could remember one thing. I remembered her face. Tonight, hell sends an angel bearing gifts.
Now, I had not seen that footage before I did the reaction the other day, and I was just floored. Like, that is really great. So I got to commend Cody Falk and his team for putting that together. A lot of the comments, one of the comments was questioning, is this like a remake of the... No, it's not at all. It's a completely different story. It's like a detective story. Different characters. That's not Eric Draven. But that is kind of the little homage you get to the original. But the rest of the story is quite different. This is just to honor the Crow itself as a property. In our minds, Brandon Lee will always be Eric Draven, and you definitely don't want to step on that. So, but I think for a fan film, you want to try to honor the vibe and the feel of the original as best you can, but still, bringing something new to the table. So, but just going down this real quick for you guys, because I did go through the Indiegogo on the trailer reaction, but one thing I didn't really go on is the perks. If you get on here, you can see the perks. Become an extra for $25. Get the Blu-ray for $40. Script. if you go down, like you can be an extra with these three characters right here. You got like Maven. You got the guy from Commando, and yeah. So there's just tons of different perks you can do in here. So it's really cool, but really, really excited for this. And here's just a peek at the cast. Oh, this is the screen test. I'll show you a couple seconds of the screen test too. Ooh, and I can't play too much of that because the Smashing Pumpkins, oh my God, they're if you play Smashing Pumpkins music, your stream will get taken down. So, but let me go to the end of it real quick. Yeah, here you go. That's fucking badass. Cody is going to be a great crow. That's all there is to it. So, yeah, here's the cast. Vernon Wells, Natalie Paulson, Cody Fox playing the main character. You got Snarky J there. I'm going to try to be there to shoot a scene. No guarantees, but I'm working on it. I just got to see if I can open up my schedule for it. But, yeah, make sure you guys get in there, support this. The goal is to make this look like a studio film, right? Not just a backyard fan film. So, yeah. Now let's go into the news. The news. And guys, what is like the big news that's going on right now that's got you guys excited? Is there any like horror news right now that you think is gonna be like really big? Because tonight I have 28 Years Later, I got Smile 2, and Blair Witch Project. Those are the three. The Maxine trailer looks amazing, Brandon. Yeah, I am really looking forward to that. Cody, what's up, man? He's in the house. Wet Paint Pictures. There you go, man. Yeah, I was just showing it off, dude. It looks really, really fucking amazing. And you know what? It's going to happen. I know it. I know this is going to happen, right? I just, the universe is going to come together and we're going to finish this film and it's going to be amazing. I just can feel it. I can see the future right now. Okay? 28 months. Yeah, you know what? I got 20. They're skipping over months and they're just calling it years. They're calling it years, right? So, you know what? We'll do 28 Years Later news right now. How about that? All right. Yeah, we got it up. So why not? Okay. The latest on 28 Years Later. And by the way, guys, man, I started doing updates for this property back in 2015. And man, I was getting tons of freaking views and questions about this movie. And it was back then it was called 28 Months Later. And people were actually getting mad at me. Like I had something to do with the movie, that there weren't any like new updates for years. And I had to go, I was like, hey, look guys, I'm just giving you anything new that I find. I don't have anything to do with the movie. So now we're finally getting some news over the last couple months that it's going to happen. And Cillian Murphy even wants to be in it. Now I don't know if it's confirmed that he's in it yet. Maybe he'll make a surprise appearance. But reading this, Danny Boyle and Alex Garland are reteaming for the long-awaited sequel to 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later, titled 28 Years Later, which plans to kick off a brand new trilogy. I don't know if they should do that. You know, one movie at a time. Why are they going to kick off a new trilogy? Unless they got some really great ideas. But I will say Alex Garland, man, in terms of making films about human behavior and the human condition, I think he's one of the best directors working today. In most of his movies, I think they create a conversation. And I think that's why a lot of his movies can be a bit controversial, because I remember after like Annihilation came out, especially after Men came out, and of course now after Civil War came out, there's always this, you know, kicking up dirt of a conversation of some people, they get a little upset with what his movies might be saying in their mind. But what I like about him is he doesn't spell out what he's saying. You know, and I think those are the best filmmakers, that they just kind of put out the information in front of you, and you can have your own personal opinion about what he is presenting. You know, he's not making any grand statements. The characters in his movies are having things happen to them, you know, and it just definitely causes a reaction with the audience. And that's why I love his filmmaking, you know. And it takes guts to be that type of filmmaker, I think, especially these days. Deadline reports tonight that Nia DaCosta, Candyman in the Marvels, is now in talks to direct the planned second installment in the 28 Years Later trilogy from Sony Pictures. I'll give it I liked Candyman. I did. I liked Candyman. The Marvels was horrible. So I'm kind of 50-50 on this, but I do think Nia DaCosta didn't have a lot of control over the marbles. They should have called it marbles. But you know what? I think she's got a definite visual eye, and I think that could suit 28 Years Later. And she's not writing it, not to knock her writing skills, but I'm just saying she's a really good director. So with Alex Garland and team writing this, then it might come out great. It might come out great. Last year, Garland will write the first film, and Boyle will return to direct. That's a big bonus, too. Danny Boyle directing this movie? Hell yeah. Deadline notes in their new report tonight, while exact dates are unknown, sources say the plan is for Boyle to direct the first one later this year, with the second film immediately after the first shoot, which is why the studio is moving fast to lock in that second director. This way, the directors can get on the same page on where they see the story, while also bringing their own unique visions for each film. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, with Danny Boyle and Alex Garland, I'll welcome a trilogy. We'll see how it goes. Cillian Murphy is on board as executive producer. The original movie in 2002 starred Cillian Murphy, and it was also written by Alex Garland and directed by Danny Boyle. And man, that first movie was quite I think it reinvented the zombie genre, even though a lot of people don't call them zombies, and maybe they're not. It's more of an affection. But I think, for lack of a better word, the genre, you know, call it zombie, call it whatever, it revitalized it. And from that point on, we were getting so many zombie movies because of 28 Weeks Later. But again, human condition, that's really what 28 Weeks Later and 28 Days Later is all about. And I mean, this goes back to George Romero. You know, that's really what Night of the Living Dead was, the human condition, and how we will quickly turn on each other when the shit hits the fan, you know? It's like the Joker said, when it hits the fan, they'll eat each other. And I think zombie movies prove that point better than any other subgenre. So, yeah. Let's go to the next one. The next story, I'll close this one, is Smile 2. Details: horror sequel will follow a pop star afflicted by the smile curse. That could be interesting. You know, and in terms of sequels, let me ask you guys a question before I get to reading on that, okay? In terms of sequels, do you prefer when the sequel feels very different than the first movie? Or do you prefer the sequel to feel like a continuation of the first movie, almost like the two could be married? And I don't think there's a wrong answer. I think as long as it's directed well, then you know, it can work either way. But you know, a great example is like Prom Night and Prom Night 2 feel completely different, but they're both, I think, just equally awesome, right? And sometimes I like when they change things up in the sequel, and you know, they surprise you. I think there's more of an opportunity for surprises when they change it up. But and I think an example of a bad continuation would be like, say, The Descent Part 2. You know, on paper, those two movies, and plot-wise, they look like a perfect continuation of it, and they're almost the same movie. But The Descent Part 2 is really bad. and maybe that's because they tried a little bit too hard to tell the same story, right? And I think that the logic of Sarah going back down there was kind of ridiculous. So I kind of like when they change things up and maybe you have a complete new batch of characters. And I think it depends on the property too. I think for Smile, I don't need the same characters to come back. Yeah, it is nice when the same characters come back, but I don't need them to come back, right? So let's read this story. And Destiny, the Descent 2 definitely blows. It blows chunks. It's really horrible. I can't even watch it again. I think I've watched it like once. They had the freaking creatures dookie in the like they showed their dookie hole, pretty much their dookie pond, and like really you're gonna show that? Like we can use our imaginations, okay? We don't need to, it's like taking Predator and showing Predator taking a dump in the woods. Like, do we need to see that? Stupid, just stupid. All right, you got characters down in the dookie pond and Dookie's just like landing next to them. It's like, what? That just takes the human emotion out of the picture, right? Dookie Pond. All right, I said it. Paramount's hit horror movie Smile gets a sequel this Halloween with returning director Parker Finn's Smile 2, and the first plot details have made their way out of Paramount's CinemaCon presentation this afternoon. First footage from the upcoming sequel was shown off at the event, but unfortunately it's not yet being released for the rest of us online. Now, is it coming out this year? I think it is coming out. I think Smile 2 is coming out this year. Let's read on. The good news, a whole bunch of websites, including Slash Film, were on hand at CinemaCon this week. So we've at least got a Smile 2 footage description to work with for now. The teaser footage from Smile 2 that played at CinemaCon was focused on the new character played by Naomi Scott, a music celeb whose glamorous world is about to get dragged to hell. After a few glimpses of her pop star performances, the footage showed Scott's character getting a shock when a man, played by Lucas Gage, breaks into her dressing room and smiles creepily at her. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Elsewhere in the footage, the website's description of the CinemaCon footage continues. She is confronted by a kid with braces who flashes her a similar malevolent smile. So I'm not going to read any more of that because I'd like to be surprised when I see the trailer. But this is what I'm talking about. I like the idea of changing, like kind of like the collection, from the collector. The collection felt very different, but still the same. They put it in a new. They kind of opened it up story-wise, and it started off in this nightclub, which maybe down the line we'll have to do best nightclub scenes in horror movies. That's irresistible. But, yeah. So, are you guys looking forward to Smile 2? Let me read some of your comments. Hold on. Where can you watch The Descent 2? Do you, if you dare, looks like it's on Tubi. So, yeah. By the way, guys, if you are interested in watching Raw Deal, the Schwarzenegger movie that I just watched, it's on Freevee. Which is, I think, like a subsidiary. If you search for it on Amazon Prime, it'll show it on Freevee, and you can watch it on Freevee, which is nice. By the way, interjection in here. I was talking about Raw Deal earlier, and I was inspired by Christian Hanna. Christian, he's been doing a lot of these shorts lately, and he's really smart about it too because he doesn't tell you the movie that he's talking about. Sometimes you'll see the movie in the thumb, but this movie will blow your balls off. He didn't say that, but I'm just giving you an example. And it'll have like balls off in all caps because that's the way we do it these days in YouTube, right, guys? We got to play that game. And this movie will blow your balls off. So you got to click on it, right? You got to. So it didn't say that. I can't remember what he said. He said, no, I remember what he said. He said, there is no other movie like this, and he was talking about Last Action Hero, the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. And at the time, he was right. There was no movie like that. Eventually, they came out with The Final Girls, which was pretty similar to Last Action Hero. But yeah, when it came out, it was like the first of its kind. But then he said Last Action Hero is his favorite Schwarzenegger movie. And I had to like kind of bake on that a little bit. But just because, I mean, this is Christian. I mean, his movie knowledge is almost unmatched. Like, the guy has seen all the classics from the 80s, a lot of the deep cuts, and it's quite astonishing and inspiring. You know, I mean, we talk with each other back and forth on the messenger about music and movies. And man, I tell you, you can't stump the guy. He's seen everything. But then he said, Last Action Hero is his favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. And I just was like, and I got, you know, you're talking to the guy that's the hot take king, all right? I love Halloween 6. I love Halloween Ends. You know, I love Silent Rage, you know, a lot of the canon films, okay? So I can totally relate to the hot takes, but Last Action Hero is his favorite Schwarzenegger movie. You got to draw the line somewhere, right? I mean, the guy, Schwarzenegger, oh my God, Commando. Commando's like the greatest freaking action movie ever made. Terminator 2. I gotta talk to him offline about this, okay? This is crazy. This is crazy to me. Last Action Hero is your favorite. I gotta give him shit, okay? Predator, thank you, Big Papa. Last Action Hero is better than Predator? Are you fucking kidding me? I said that. I got out of line. I took it too far. Okay, I took it too far. But I love Christian to death. I got to get him on the horn. I got to talk to him. Like, there's no way that could be true. There's no way that Last Action Hero could be his favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I mean, the guy has so many freaking amazing action movies, and it's got to be like a nostalgic thing, right, guys? It's got to be. Because Arnold's, I mean, Jesus. Terminator. Destiny just said she watched those recently for the first time. Terminator and Terminator 2 are two of the greatest films ever made, in my eyes. They just really are. Like, they're perfection. There's very few perfect movies out there. Back to the Future, right? Arnold has two of them. You know, Terminator and Terminator 2, you won't find a negative aspect to either one of those movies. His favorite Schwarzenegger movie is Last Action Hero. God damn. Woo. Man, I had to chew on that one for a while. I just had to chew on it for a while, okay? God, he's probably going to see this. Somebody's probably going to tell him, hey, Lee's giving you shit. But I just had to say it. Okay? I had to get it off my chest, okay? The poo-poo pond. All right, that's where Last Action Hero belongs. In the poo-poo pond. All right, the dookie pond. Damn it. Okay. All right. I've said enough. All right. Let's move on. Jesus. Killing me over there, Christian. You got to stop. All right. Let's close that out. Here we go. This is kind of the big news of the week. And I really need your opinion on this because honestly, I don't know how I feel about it, okay? This is the Blair Witch project. Blumhouse is going to make a brand new Blair Witch project. I'm thinking it's going to be a remake. How do you guys feel about this? All right. And let me tell you, I really enjoyed the Blair Witch project. I think the marketing on that movie is the greatest marketing ever made, ever done. To be alive back in 1999, when they were marketing the Blair Witch Project, it was a beautiful, beautiful time to be alive because they got you. You literally thought that this was a snuff film that was found, and somehow they were going to release it in theaters. You know, thinking back, how in the fuck were we that stupid that we actually thought that they were going to release a snuff film in theaters? But you know, sometimes you just want to believe, right? You just want to believe, right? So I believed, and I was one of those that saw Blair Witch Project in the theater thinking it was real. I thought I was literally like these three characters, they were all probably going to die by the end of the movie. And I was just like jazzed. I was electrified by it. But it's one of those movies that the second viewing will never be like the first and probably won't be as good as the first, It's a one and done type of movie. And I don't mean one and done by like you can only watch it once. No, I've watched it a couple of times. But you'll just never have that same experience like the first time you watched The Blair Witch. And sadly, most of you, because you're younger, the first time you watched it, you knew that it wasn't real. There was a select few of us that got to see that movie thinking it was real in the theater. And it shook me just because I thought it was real. At the end of the movie, when the guy's standing there in the corner, man, I'm still to this day, I've never had a reaction like that from a movie in the theater because I thought it was real. And it shook me up quite a bit. Wow. And then quickly after, you find out that it wasn't real. And I was like, fuck. But, yeah, pretty damn crazy. So they made The Blair Witch 2, which I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of. I've watched it a couple times. It's hard for me to get through, if I'm being honest. It's just a tough movie to get through. And I definitely want to watch it again sometime, but it's just I can't do it. I don't know. To me, it's kind of boring, right? I like what it's going for, and I like the edginess of it, and the time frame when that came out was a cool time frame for movies. But yeah, I'm just not on that Blair Witch 2 bandwagon. I know it's a cult favorite for sure. Now, Adam Wingard's Blair Witch, I quite liked. If I'm being honest, going into it, I think it was a very entertaining movie because we'll never get that experience of the first Blair Witch again. So, and you know what? It's easy to jump on Blumhouse. Yeah, they do make some shit movies, but I think they do make some good movies too. I think they're mixed. I think the Invisible Man is actually a pretty damn good movie. I think the stuff they do with Jordan Peele is really good. I liked the Halloween movies, and I know that's controversial to say. But for me, Blumhouse is half and half, right? And even, like, I'm just going to admit it, guys. Even, like, the bad movies, I kind of look forward to going to see them. Just because I know that I'm probably going to get a little bit of enjoyment out of it. Like, Night Swim is not a good movie at all. But I did get some enjoyment out of it, I knew exactly what to expect. And it was just dumb horror fun. That's what the Night Swim was. Same thing with Imaginary. Imaginary is not a good movie. But I did like that they got a little creative in the second half of the movie. So I think there's worse studios out there than Blumhouse. But yeah, I mean, I think Blumhouse likes to work with talented directors. They don't always hit, but sometimes they do get a director that is really talented, So I'll give them a chance. I guess that's where I stand on it. I'm not like, oh my God, it's not like freaking, Blair Witch is so cherished by me, right? So I'm not against it. I think there's worse studios that could do a Blair Witch movie. So let's read through this story though a little bit. Blumhouse and Lionsgate join forces for brand new The Blair Witch Project. And Lionsgate, they do the Saw movies, and the last Saw was really good. So that's one news story I could have went over. I didn't. The Saw was pushed back to 2025. I'm fine with that, if I'm being honest. I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks. It would be nice to get Saw this year. Kind of go with the same momentum and rhythm that they used to do with the franchise every year. But it just looks like it's not going to happen. So, 25 years after the release of the original genre-changing classic, Lionsgate and Blumhouse announced out of CinemaCon today that they will partner on the development and production of a new Blair Witch Project movie, as the first film is a multi-picture pact with Blumhouse, reimagining horror classics from the Lionsgate library. The announcement was made today by Adam Fogelson, Chair, Lionsgate Motion Picture Group, and Jason Blum, founder and CEO of Blumhouse. Based at Universal Pictures, where it has a first look deal, Blumhouse is the gold standard in the horror space, generating blockbuster results from a string of modestly budgeted films, including the Paranormal Activity franchise, Insidious, The Purge, Sinister. Sinister was great. Halloween, Five Nights at Freddy's, and Megan, along with award winners Get Out and Black Klansman. So, I mean, from that list, it's like 50-50 for me. Blumhouse films have grossed nearly $6 billion at the worldwide box office. Can't argue with that, right? Blumhouse will team with producer Roy Lee on the new Blair Witch Project movie. Lee previously produced the 2016 film Blair Witch, the most recent installment in the franchise. I have been incredibly fortunate to work with Jason many times over the years. We forged a strong relationship on The Purge when I was at Universal, and we launched STX with his film The Gift. The Gift was great. I really enjoyed The Gift with Joel Edgerton. There's no one better at this genre than the team at Blumhouse, said Fogelson. We are thrilled to kick this partnership off with a new vision for Blair Witch. We'll reintroduce this horror classic for a new generation. We couldn't be more pleased with to be working with them on this and other projects. We look forward to revealing soon. And I don't need to read any more of that. But let me ask you guys a question. I mean, a new Blair Witch movie, isn't it just a new found footage movie? You know, at the end of the day, that's pretty much what we're dealing with here. It's just any other found footage because there's no gimmick anymore. You know, the gimmick's gone, right? So, I mean, you can file it under any other found footage movie as far as I'm concerned, which is fine. Could still be good. Guys, by the way, when was the last like really good found footage movie? Right? I mean, I'm not the biggest found footage guy, so I don't keep up with them. But has it been a while since we had a really good found footage movie? And lately, it's kind of the bastard sister of the found footage genre is the laptop horror genre. You know, it seems like that's kind of the new brand that we're dealing with. Yeah, Gondrum Haunted Asylum. That was fantastic. Fantastic, Destiny. Yeah, that was a good one, actually. But that's been a long time ago. So, I mean, I don't know. Hell House Origins was awesome. Oh, thank you, Erica. I need to get into the Hell House franchise. I definitely do. Deadstream, Taffer, thank you. That's the one I was thinking of, but I couldn't get it out of my head. Deadstream was good. I liked Deadstream. And that Deadstream is the laptop found footage movie, right? Horton Coffee, what's up, brother? David Thorson, I've only seen 2 found footage movies. Oh, wow. I've seen quite a few of them. Damn. I wish I could remember. Let me see. Hold on. I think it was in the horror pack. Let me look over here. Hold on. No, I think it's downstairs. Shit. What was that one that came out back in like 2017? The Gallows? The Gallows. Remember that one, guys? The Gallows sucked. It wasn't that good. I don't know why I brought it up. But it did kind of like... Because that was one of those like really stupid character decision ones. You know? That's the thing you got to work around when it comes to found footage movies too. It's like... Would you really be holding that camera the whole time? You know? Most people, when they're scared for their life, they turn the camera off and sometimes throw it, you know? So, yeah. Hey, Nikki, how are you doing? Totes to you, too. Totes my goats. What's that movie from, guys? Or what movie is that line from? Totes my goats. Hey, I like that colorful background that I made, you know? Let me pat myself on the back. I'm never satisfied with my like backgrounds and my thumbnails, and I'm always like tinkering with them. And I said, you know what? I'll make Maxine more of like an 80s style. How'd I do, guys? Did you like that? I like that. I made it like an 80s style Maxine backdrop, right? Maybe I should just use Maxine for like up until the movie comes out as my background because it does pop, right? I do like it. And you guys pop off of it, which is cool. I like that. So, yeah. Thanks, Brandon. I appreciate that, man. Amber, I love you too. Aaron, I love you too. Oh, I love you, man. I'm a fucking moron. The movie, I love you, man. It's great, right? Totes my goats. Paul Rudd is so good in that. I need to get some fucking friends. I'm an idiot. All right. Yeah. Okay. It's funnies time, guys. You guys want to do some funnies? Yeah. I'm not doing a top 10 tonight. I'm taking a week break on the top 10. I'm gonna try to get my wheels spinning and think of some good top 10s for the future. Also, I noticed I used to do a lot of ranking videos on the main channel, and they were more produced. And I've been slacking on that, and I've been doing a lot of them on these live streams. So I think I need to bring that back. So maybe what I'll do is like every other ranking, I'll do like produced, and then I'll do live. You know, does that sound good to you guys? Would that be better? Because I do miss doing produced rankings because they're quick and to the point, right, guys? Yeah. I love you guys too. Okay. Yeah. All right, let's do funnies. Damn it. I love that backdrop. I want to leave it there. Damn it. And Maxine's so, like Mia Goth. Oh my God, I love her to death. She's so great. She's so damn good in that trilogy. I'm already saying it right now, and I haven't seen the movie yet. And somebody did post something like, how many people will be kicked in the face by Mia Goth in this movie? You know? Okay. I do have a couple of O.J. Simpson memes. All right, so I happen to be one of the. I'll just say it. He killed his wife and Ronald Goldman. Okay, based on the evidence. And you know, he got off. You know, the justice system failed, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Brett, he says, Lee, have you ever done a video for best movies each year that you were alive? No, I haven't done that yet. Best movies each year. That'd be a fun one, but that'd be a long list. That would be a top 50. Damn it. That would literally, I guess I need to get working because, I don't want to do a top 51, right? So I got till July. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do it. You know what, Brett? That's a great idea. Top 50. That's a top 50 because I'm 50 years old, right? Don't squeeze the juice. Yeah. Is it freshly squeezed? Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, let's do the funnies. All right, let's do the funnies. Okay. By the way, guys, Teen Wolf's up there. I did a 80s like triple feature recently. I watched the first Teen Wolf, and then I watched 3 O'clock High. Yeah. And what was the third one? Damn it, it'll come to me. Shit. I know there was a third one, but I can't remember. Anyway, you know what? I'm gonna let it go, and then it'll come back. It'll come to me. I know it before. But I did like 3 fun 80s flicks, right? And it was a blast. Okay. All right. Yeah, Buddy Revell, scariest motherfucker on the planet. Richard Tyson, you can't cast better than that. Like he was perfectly cast for that movie. Perfectly cast. Jesus. Okay. All right. So first one, here we go. Tim Burton. Let's start you off with the softball. Okay. Tim Burton. I have a movie to pitch. Exec. Oh boy, here we go. Tim Burton. It's a love story. Exec. Go on. Tim Burton. About 2 people from different parts of town. Exec. Sounds pretty cute, actually. Tim Burton. Oh, and he's super emo, and his scissors has scissors for hands. And exec, there it is. You know, I imagine that's how it goes every time Tim Burton pitches a movie. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into the OJ ones. Now, this isn't funny. This is actually Gail Ann Hurd, who produced the first Terminator with James Cameron. She says, I realized that Arnold claims that O.J. Simpson was cast as the Terminator before we cast him. That is 100% not true, and I should know. Jim and I never, ever considered O.J., not even for a nanosecond. That's interesting. That is very, because, you know, it's one of those, like, I guess the rumor becomes a fact, and then it just, like, grows and expands. And, yeah, so, but Schwarzenegger, who I guess was the first one to mention O.J. Simpson, it had to come from somewhere. Like Schwarzenegger didn't make up O.J. Simpson, I'm sure. So where did it come from? Right? That had to originate somewhere, the O.J. Simpson. And what I'm thinking is maybe when they were sitting around a table and maybe Gail wasn't in the room and maybe they were throwing out a list of different options for the Terminator, somebody threw out O.J. Simpson. I guarantee that's probably what happened. And then somebody like vetoed it and then they just moved on. But maybe Schwarzenegger heard that from somebody that heard it in the meeting room. I don't know. So, yeah. Couple of Texas Chainsaw Massacre behind the scenes pictures. I follow Chainsaw Gal. I can't remember. That's the actress that's in the movie. I always forget her name. But it's a cool account to follow on Instagram because she always posts like some really interesting stuff and a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I've never seen before. Like this right here was pretty cool. She posted this and she posted this too as well. I am a sucker for like behind the scenes shots. I love that type stuff, especially for these old classics. If it's a movie, if it's a picture that crops up out of nowhere that you've never seen before, then that's just really cool. Like I've seen everything from like the original Halloween, but every now and then something will pop out that'll surprise me. Like, damn, I never saw that before. So yeah. Hey Tracy, how are you doing? Okay. Next one. Oh boy, here we go. Gonna get in some trouble for this one, but I don't care. I love getting in trouble. This was the other movie. I told you it would come to me. I watched Wildcats after 3 O'Clock High. I was I was just in an 80s mood, and I loved this movie back in the day, in the 80s. Do you guys remember back in the 80s HBO? And they would play a lot of these movies just constantly back then. And Wildcats was one of those movies, and I fell in love with this movie at the time with Goldie Hawn. And man, it's just so unfiltered, and the things that these football players are saying to her are quite hilarious. And you had some big stars get their start with Wildcats, like Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson, both of them. This was their first movie, I believe. And then you had the guy from the first Nightmare on Elm Street was in here too, Chulo. Chulo's the guy that completely, like, she comes in and she wants to coach the football team. And these are just really, they're assholes, okay? And as soon as she comes in, she's like, we're not going to have any problems, right? And so Chulo, the guy that was in the first Nightmare on Elm Street, that was hung in the jail, he turns around and he rips one right at her. But I think movies back then were just really hard edged. It made me think of movies like Bad Boys with Sean Penn, and Isaiah Morales. That's another movie that like nobody ever talks about. That was and I think it was overshadowed by the other Bad Boys movie with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. But man, those movies from the early '80s. They were playing on HBO all the time back then. But I had this thought after watching Wildcats and having such a blast. So I was like, would the anti-woke crowd, would they like be ripping this movie to shreds if it came out today? And I did post that on X because I like stirring the pot. And I that remains to be seen, but I think there would be some that would be a little butthurt about the movie if it came out today. I could be wrong though. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this movie would be controversial if it came out today? I don't know. I think it might. Right? But whatever that answer is, it's awesome. I love this movie to death. So, yeah. If you haven't seen Wildcats, I have the VHS back there actually. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Okay. Next one. Scary movie reboot. This is the other news that I'm not going to go open that up and read through it and everything. I think you know everything you need to know. Just the idea that they're talking about a scary movie reboot again. Sure. I don't have a problem with that coming out. I love the first two scary movies. They're a blast. And could scary movie work in this day and age? I don't see why not. I don't know. I guess we could see. But somebody posted Melissa Barrera has the opportunity to do the funniest shit ever. And boy, there's no way she would ever do that. Melissa Barrera is coming back to the Scream franchise. I'm telling you that right now, okay? That's happening. So I don't think she would jeopardize that by being in Scary Movie, right? And I don't think they would ask her to do that anyway, you know? That's a wasted ask, I think. So, but I did review the first Scary Movie. I've always meant to do the second one, you know? I just love those movies to death. They're hilarious. And they really poke fun of not just Scream, but like other horror properties at the time. So that's why I'm kind of for this, because you could literally poke fun at, you know, the horror landscape today. And I think they definitely have a golden opportunity to do like movies like Halloween Ends, because that, oh my God, the outrage over that movie would be perfect for Scary Movie. You know, anything that's like a buzz type movie would be perfect for a Scary Movie. So I say bring it on. I think it could be fun. You know, I saw some people getting butthurt about it. It's like, no, don't make another Scary Movie. As long as it's you got some good writers on there, it could be good. It could be good. We could see. Next one, here's an OJ one for you, okay? OJ Simpson just arrived down here, and that was Satan. He posted that on... Satan has an X account, apparently, guys. I didn't even know that. But even Satan was surprised. Like, holy shit. And somebody said, can you ask him who killed his wife? And he said he's waiting for his lawyer to get down here before he answers. So, yeah. Do I have any thoughts on the OJ thing? I mean, God, I've had thoughts on that thing for forever. Just... You know, I remember the Bronco chase, and you know, I remember being at work and the world stopping, you know, and a lot of my young viewers might not remember this, but you know, everybody loved OJ back then. He was kind of the golden boy, you know, good looking guy, and Heisman Trophy winner. And when it was originally announced that O.J. Simpson's wife had been killed, and Ronald Goldman, and immediately we all thought, "Oh my God, this is a tragedy. Poor O.J." And then quickly, it became O.J. was the prime suspect, and you know it went so far as they arrested him and all this stuff, and then the trial happened, and it's like as the trial went on, we found out more and more, and you know. I think blood is the best evidence you can get in a murder trial. And the amount of evidence that just built up over time was quite insane. Like, and so you would think there's no way this guy's going to get off, right? It's just because they had so much blood in the Bronco, blood in his bedroom. And, you know, that's a hard thing to cover up. It really is, you know? So... yeah, it was just insane. And what's crazy to me is that it divided the country, which it shouldn't have. You know, this was just a murder trial, but because of the color of his skin and the way, you know, this was a couple of years after the Rodney King trial, America wasn't in the best place back then. So I think the timing was right for OJ because he got away with it, you know? But it just brought out a lot of like hurt feelings and anger. And I think the reason, aside from all the evidence that I think he did it, was because putting myself in his shoes, if somebody killed my wife, you know, and somebody else, if somebody killed my wife and I was innocent and I was on trial for that for as long as he was, and I was able to get off, I would be pretty like bound and determined to find out who killed her. You know, granted this was his ex-wife, but still this is still a person that's very important in your life. And if I was divorced, you know, I'd still want to find out who killed my ex-wife and that other person. And you could tell that immediately it was like he walked out of courtroom and somebody handed him a golf club, you know? This guy didn't care whatsoever about finding the real killer. And there's one reason for that. So, yeah. So that's why I, you know, when somebody passes away, that's not a good thing, of course. But, and I think the first thing I thought about was the families of the victims when he passed away. And I'm hoping that it was just a little bit of a relief for them. You know, I'm hoping that maybe they're in a better place now. Because I think in their minds, 100% they know that OJ killed their family. You know, the Browns know that he killed Nicole, and the Goldmans know that he killed, Ronald Goldman. And it's really sad that 2 lives were taken so brutally, and it really came across as like a crime of passion when it happened. So, yeah. And Polly, he. Oh my God! If you read, if I did it, wow. And he did that book because he needed money, and they offered him $600,000, and he was already, the trial was already over, so yeah. So he took the 600, and he pretty much admitted that he did it in a roundabout way. So yeah, just a crazy time to be alive. But I'm shocked that he died. I mean, he was just on a podcast not too long ago too, actually. So this one's called Real Friends. Adding people you went to high school with on social media. Adding complete strangers who are into horror movies. There you go, right? And I've met some of the coolest people in my life online, if I'm being honest. That we all have a very similar interest. We all love horror. Horror, I think it bonds us all, right? And that's one thing I love about it. So, yeah. It's kind of a cool thing, because I don't talk to anybody that I went to high school with, and that's not like a dig on them. It's just, to be honest, I don't even really talk to my best friends that I was in high school with, just people, they grow apart. But I still talk almost on a daily basis to people that I've never met in person about not only horror, but just about life in general, which I think is really cool, right? So, yeah, if anything, the internet, it does a lot of bad things, but it does a lot of great things too, and it does bring people together. I mean, hell, relationships are formed through the internet, which is awesome. So, romantic relationships, it's great. I mean, hell, in my own group, Killer Flicks, I've seen a few relationships form, and that is the coolest thing in the world, if I'm being honest. So, yeah. I was thinking about Possession of Hannah Grace recently, and how nobody ever talks about it. Yeah, there you go. Destiny and Braden. That's so cool. Possession of Hannah Grace. I need to watch it again, but I remember really loving that movie, and I thought, man, this one's going to catch on, and I think people are going to like it. And no, it just kind of came and went, But I like the idea of it's kind of like a possession slasher, and you don't really get that mixture that often. So it was kind of cool. So I'm trying to bring it back. Okay, maybe I'll need to do a Possession of Hannah Grace revisited. I don't know. Holly Klein posted this one. At least OJ can finally rest knowing that his wife's killer is dead. Norm Macdonald, rest in peace. I mean, this was 95, like literally the year. I think, he was actually doing it before OJ was even found innocent. I mean, you could tell that it was kind of personal to Norm Macdonald. Like, he had it out for OJ. I think he hated to see that, these 2 victims were so brutally slain, and this guy was, it looked like he was going to get away with it. And so Norm Macdonald would, he really had a lot of funny news reports and sketches on SNL at the time. And some of it didn't go over that well in the audience. A lot of the audience, they thought it was a little bit in bad taste because the trial hadn't been over yet. But Norm Macdonald, that's the great thing about him, was he had no filter, no filter whatsoever. And I think that's what got him, I don't know if he was fired from SNL, but that's what it got him dropped from SNL, was because that filter, he just had none. Next one, middle management. Someone has got to get the job done. I love that one middle management orc who kept arguing with Saruman about realistic factory output. That is true. They pretty much had every level of management in Lord of the Rings under Saruman's rule, which was kind of funny if you think about it. Maxine coincidence. Oh, here we go, guys. Here we go. So somebody brought this to my attention. I didn't go dig this up, but somebody said, did they get the idea to have the Bates Motel, the house from Psycho from your reaction video? And I was like, what is he talking about? And so I went and looked at my Pearl reaction video, and sure enough, I'm wearing a Bates Motel t-shirt. And so I thought that was one of those like happy accidents, I guess. So maybe I predicted the future. I don't know. But I thought that was kind of hilarious, actually. I do notice my beard is getting grayer, though, in a short amount of time. Damn it. Okay. Next one. A photo that you can hear, right? A photo that you can hear. Ben Urban was dead on with that one. Next one. Oh, here we go, guys. I'm going to toot my horn a little bit, okay? I don't get to toot my horn that often, so I figured I'd go ahead and do it right now. All right, so somebody shared this with me on X. It's a wonderful knife. This guy bought It's a Wonderful Knife, and he asked me, or he said, hey, is that, are they using one of your quotes on the back of the Blu-ray? And I'm like, what? And I look at the back of it, and you can't read that, but yes, they did. Here it is right here. Look at that. Drumdums right there. It says so that's on the back of the It's a Wonderful Knife Blu-ray. So I made it to my first Blu-ray, which is freaking awesome and insane to me. I had to look at my quote because I don't even remember saying it, but I guess I said it. Knife accomplishes exactly what the best Christmas horror movies try to achieve. It's fun, heartfelt, and boasts some nice bloody violence like any good slasher would. That sounds like something I'd say, though. That sounds like something I'd say. So, yeah. That was pretty damn cool, though, guys. And I bought it. It's downstairs. But as soon as I saw that, I bought it on Amazon. It came in the mail yesterday. Because, I got to own that, right? If my name's on a freaking Blu-ray, I got to own it. So, yeah. So, guys, if you want to see me on the back of your Blu-ray, buy it right now. It's a wonderful knife. And not just that. These days, if there's something I really want to buy when it comes out on physical media, I get it. Because we're in different times now, and there's no guarantee that any movie's going to stay in rotation forever, right? It could, as soon as it's gone, it might not ever come back again. So I figured I better go ahead and buy it now. So if you want to buy It's a Wonderful Knife or any new horror movie, because some of them don't even come to Blu-ray. They don't even come to physical media. It's crazy. So yeah. Next one. Close that. Hot Topic Manager. The Hot Topic Manager coming over to tell you that all Hello Kitty merch is on sale right now. Pretty much. That's pretty much the way it goes. Every time I walk into a Hot Topic, I never know what I'm going to get, but I usually know what I'm going to get. You pretty much get that vibe. They're usually playing some sort of like emo band, and it's cool. And it's really dark in there. And it can be a strange place sometimes, but I have a good time. Okay. Next one. This is by the lake near my house, and I had to snap a picture of it for you guys. Look at that gator. And I say he's probably like a 10-footer, something like that. And I was just walking right by the lake. There's like a little path that you can walk around the lake, just to get a walk in. And I saw him sitting there. We have like 2 of those bad boys. That's Florida living for you. We get those gators from time to time. And man, I tell you, gators, they scare the shit out of me. Like there's like gators, snakes, and spiders. Keep those the fuck away from me as far as possible. All right, I hate them. One time when I was running, and this was in Georgia, on Saturdays I would run around the base in Georgia. It was like 9 miles, something like that. And there's a section of the run where there's like no traffic whatsoever. It's just kind of open blacktop, right? And I'm running, and on you got the sidewalk, and then the grass, right? Sidewalk grass, and like right on the edge of the sidewalk, there was a gator like that, and his nose was right there. And I didn't see him until like the last second. Like my foot landed probably maybe a foot from him. And it's not, it's probably the most embarrassing moment of my life, but luckily nobody's around. I saw him. I said, "Oh shit." That's the first thing that came out of my mouth. "Oh shit." And I leaped across the street. Like I instantly had superpowers. I leaped up and across the street and then landed on the other side of the road. I've never ever jumped so high in my entire life. And, I was just happy to have a foot. But man, that scared the living shit out of me. For sure. For sure. Yeah, not fun. Not fun at all. Okay, guys, what's the best scene from Friday Part 2? Here it is right here, okay? It's the trumpet scene. Everyone's favorite scene from Friday the 13th, Part 2. Only true horror fans will get that joke, okay? We'll get that joke. But, man, I tell you, the trumpet scene from The Town That Dreaded Sundown, still to this day, that has got to be one of the weirdest horror kills I've ever seen. And it's like the movie itself, I'm just gonna say it. I don't really care for the original Town That Dreaded Sundown. It's okay, but man, that scene is iconic. Like the scene itself is like the best thing about the movie, right? It's so good. I mean, like he's holding the trombone. I'm sorry. I literally said trumpet in my Town That Dreaded Sundown remake review, and boy, I got roasted. It's trombone, okay, trombone. But he puts the knife on the end of the trombone, and he's like stabbing the girl against the tree. Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island's in this movie too, by the way. But yeah, it's just a very crazy scene, like a trombone used as a weapon, right? And where did the killer get that? Like, was he a trombone player? I don't know. And you hear like the trombone as he's doing it too, It's really hilarious, but weird. Okay, next one. Dentist recommended. Here we go. I'm a dentist, and I graduated with 68 other ones. I've met even more in 13 years as a dentist. None of us have been as shit about our opinions on toothpaste. So, remember back in the day, you see these toothpaste commercials, and it'd say "dentist recommended." And no, that's not true. Dentists don't recommend toothpaste. All right. This is an educational funny. All right. It's an informative funny. Guys, you might think that, remember we talked about the stinkiest slasher killer, and I think we all agreed that it was Jason Voorhees, right? And do you guys that didn't attend that stream? Would you agree with that? That the Jason Voorhees is definitely the stinkiest smelling. He's got to be, right. He's got there's even the scene in Freddy vs. Jason where they pretty much tell you how bad his breath is, because she's got to pull the mask off, and Kelly Rowland, and she's got to give him mouth to mouth, and it's like you can smell the screen. It's like a scratch and sniff scene, and his breath is just that bad. It's just that bad. So, I guess this is a part 2 of that. He might be the stinkiest, but he's definitely got the best butt, right? Andrew Parasino said, "No context, but just thick booty Jason, all up in your eye holes. Get your quarters ready." You could bounce a quarter off that ass. He does have a very fetching hiney. If you can get near it, because either you'll be dead or you'll die of the stench, right? But yeah. Michael Myers, he doesn't have that. Although there is a funny scene, and somebody shared a picture of this in Halloween 6 at the final act, when Michael Myers, there's a certain angle, and he does have quite the fetching hiney in that one too. So Erica says, Myers getting jealous. Jason lives, that ass. Right, Davey? Oh, God. All right. Next one. Yeah, I called that one best slasher butt. Okay. All right. A little bit of food porn for you guys. I ate at this. I tried a new place yesterday in Orlando called Barrios. They have it's Mexican food. Fuck, it was delicious. Holy shit, it was good. And that's 2 tacos and some lime rice, right? And beans, okay? And I put what I do is I put the black beans over the rice, and I oh my god, you could literally like smell that picture. So there's 2 pictures, that one you can hear and one you can smell, okay? Jesus. Those tacos, guys, I'm telling you, man, those tacos were fucking amazing. Whew. Like they were too good, and I want to go back. Because it was just too. Do you guys like good Mexican food? God, it might be my favorite type of food, if I'm being honest. It might be good Mexican food, because man, I love good Mexican food. Now I'm really hungry, really hungry. Okay, next one. Awesome shirt. Just every now and then when you're scrolling on like Instagram, pay attention to those ads, because every now and then you'll see like a cool a t-shirt. And I've had people ask me, where'd you get that shirt? Sometimes I get it from these ads and they're gone. Like you got to get it, because you might never see the ad again, and the t-shirt's gone, right? Like one that I often get a question about is my Halloween. I have a Halloween 6 t-shirt that you've never seen before. And it's like a silhouette of Myers in a field, and it's got like the thorn symbol on it. It's one of my favorite t-shirts. And I got that through one of these ads that just popped up like back in like freaking 2017. But man, that's a sexy t-shirt right there. Deep red. Oh my God. If you want a good Jalo t-shirt, I need to get that. Okay. I noticed that the physical media world's kind of flipping out over these 2 releases. I just got them recently. Aliens and True Lies. To be honest, I haven't looked at Aliens yet, so I don't know what it looks like. But True Lies look pretty good. But I think a lot of them were complaining about like edge enhancement, and I think they used some AI for the Aliens transfer. So I don't know. I guess as long as it looks nice and crystal clear to me, and believe me, I don't like too much like waxy faces and edge enhancement. I do get a little bit picky about that stuff. And I'll tell you right now, avoid the Ultimate Hunter edition of Predator that came out a few years ago. That's unwatchable, because it's like they tried to make Predator almost look like a video game, and it just doesn't have like, I like a good grainy transfer, like like it looks like the raw footage. And the 2008 edition of Predator, I still think is probably the best transfer of the movie. So yeah, definitely get that one. But yeah, I'm glad to finally have True Lies on Blu-ray or on 4K, because I don't think there was ever even a Blu-ray release of it. So it was nice to have those. And last one, and I was digging through my garage, and when you move as much as I do, sometimes you just don't bother unboxing certain things. It's like my mental thoughts were like, you know what, I'll just leave this stuff in the box, and eventually if I feel like I need it, then I'll unbox it. But I opened that up, and that's not all my CDs, but it kind of made me think back to like the late 80s, and I can let me make that bigger for you. Like, look at some of those titles, right? You got like Motley Crue, the John Corabi album, you got Steelheart, both those albums, Kicks. Oh my God, I was a huge Kicks fan. Dream Theater, Kingdom Come. These are all CDs that some of these CDs, guys, are 30 years old. I bought them when they were released back in like the early 90s, late 80s. Danger Danger, Brittany Fox, Babylon AD. Oh my God, if Dave Vanderhoff was here, he'd be freaking, having a good time right now. I'll just say that. Cinderella, Still Climbing, that album is good. Candlebox. So this is the reason I show you this is because this is kind of like the bridge between late 80s and early 90s, because I have a little bit of the early 90s stuff like Candlebox, and and I have Nirvana and I have Soundgarden and all that stuff, but I'm just a music lover. But I think one thing that you don't hear people say that often, they often say that there was just an abrupt change from glam metal to grunge, right? Lillian Axe, Taffer. Lillian Axe, one of my favorite bands. Oh my God. I love those Lillian Axe albums. Taiketo is another CD that I have. Salty Dog, I think, put out one album, and it is phenomenal. But the point I'm trying to make here is that there's this misconception that it was more like 80s high hair glam metal, and then the next day it was flannel wearing grunge. No, it was not like that at all. Here, I was there. There was a big change, and it was highly noticeable. I've talked about this in the past. When I first heard Nirvana, I was like, wow, this is awesome. It's too bad it'll never catch on. And, because that's what, but it did catch on, and Nirvana became huge just because there was a certain landscape. But the point I'm trying to make here is that even glam metal was getting darker and edgier and heavier by the time we went to grunge, right? There was kind of a transition, a soft transition into grunge. Even like hair metal bands in the late 80s, they were getting edgier. Like Motley Crue was getting edgier. Skid Row is like the ultimate example, because if you listen to Slave to the Grind, that album is not glam metal at all. And it debuted at number 1. So that a lot of these albums were on the heavier side of things by the time you got to 1990, 1991. Rat put out Detonator, and Detonator is borderline 90s rock, So Warrant, Dog Eat Dog, thank you, Taffer. Yeah, a really heavy album. So when you could listen to Warrant, Dog Eat Dog and follow it up with, say, like Soundgarden, and it wouldn't be so far removed. Yeah, you'd tell the difference, but it wasn't like Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich compared to like Soundgarden, right? I think there was a transition there. I think we were getting heavier as time went on. GNR is another example too. GNR wasn't going anywhere. They imploded as a band, but people were still listening to GNR. I mean, those Use Your Illusion albums came out right as Nirvana was coming out, and they were just as successful. So, yeah. So, just a point that I'm trying to make, it wasn't so abrupt like people think it is. I think the music was kind of similar. It all had kind of a harder edge at that time. And so I think it's a shame that the record companies didn't let both kind of coexist, because let's just say Nirvana never happened, right? Let's just say grunge never happened. I think we were getting harder because of bands like Megadeth. Because what was happening was Megadeth and Metallica were going from insanely heavy to more mainstream. And then your normal glam metal bands and newer bands were getting heavier. And so they kind of met in the middle. So if grunge never existed and never happened, I think we would have found a happy medium, and we would have stayed pretty heavy and pretty edgy. And it's a shame, because there's a lot of great music, like Slaughter's second album. I can't remember that. They had the song "Reach for the Sky," but that was getting like heavier. Music was getting heavier, but for some reason these record executives thought, even though these bands are learning and they're getting heavier, and we could still make some nice money off of them. The Wildlife, thank you, Taffer. Taffer knows his shit. Let's go ahead and just wipe them from existence, which I think was bullshit at the time, But there were a few bands that did make it through, that were still untouched, like Metallica, like Guns N' Roses, like Aerosmith, and I've talked about bands that made it through before, but this is something I kind of wanted to highlight. And these CDs I cherish, and some of these CDs go for a pretty penny these days. Like, look up Salty Dog and see how much that CD sells for. I don't have like Shotgun Messiah, which, oh my God, Shotgun Messiah was unlike anything you heard back then, right? Taffer knows what I'm talking about. Hold on. And I've had this on display in my backdrop for like the past 5 years. This Shotgun Messiah album here. Yeah. Let me go back to the main scene. This band right here, for the time they came out, they don't get enough credit. Because even their first album, which came out in like 88, 89, it sounded like unlike anything ever. It had a colorful sound to it. But then they come out with this album in 91 or 90, something like that. And this album is just as edgy as any kind of grunge music you could possibly imagine, you know? And it had a lot of really great songs on here too. And then their third album was more like freaking electric, what do you call it? Like industrial, right? So Shotgun Messiah had 3 completely different sounding albums, you know? And then they just, you know, Tim Skold went on to do his own thing, and I still follow him to this day. You've heard me talk about Tim Skold in the past. But yeah, I miss that music, if I'm being honest. You know, bands like Salty Dog and Taiketo and Lynch Mob. You know, there was just a certain flavor that wasn't there like 5 years before, right? And some really great music was coming out at that time. Child's Play. There was a band called Child's Play that put out one album, and it was phenomenal. Phenomenal stuff. Do I dare? You know what? They had a song called Rat Race. Let me play you a little bit of this. Hold on. Let me play you a little bit of Rat Race, okay? Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. This song is freaking badass, all right? This is back, like Lillian Axe was coming out. You know, and these bands, they'd have like one album, maybe 2 if they were lucky, you know? But man, this song is awesome. You might not like it, but I love it. Here we go.
Everybody's talking about age and the president, missiles and communists. Paying toll, getting old, losing hair, losing weight, feeling fat, feeling great. Just away, traffic suck, I'm at luck, tire fire, seconds flat, call a cab, driving fast, just can't get away. I'm not part of the rat race. I said I'm not part of the real world. I'm not part of the fast pace. I'm not part of the real world.
This is shit I was listening to in my like senior year of high school.
You're a jerk, not dead. Take a quick, fast relief, dip the leg, drink a squirt, stop and float.
That's 2 singers, by the way. The drummer has the high voice.
Just can't get away. I'm not part of the rat race. I'm not part of the real world. I'm not part of the fast pace. I'm not part of the real world. Now I don't need a job. I'm just a late son. My mom's just half a bum. I just call it fun. Some people say I'm crazy. No, it's not a lie. My music's kinda hazy. I don't know why.
There you go, though, right, guys? Man, I miss that stuff. And it's like a certain moment in time where you had this heavier side glam metal. It's like hard to even call it glam metal. I don't know the appropriate name for it, but I remember I was buying all these CDs from bands that just, you know, they didn't sound like you know, Poison from '86, you know, and early Motley Crue and they had their own unique sound, and also the fashion was kind of blending in. Like they weren't wearing like high hair and all that shit, you know. They started wearing stuff like flannel and jeans and stuff like that before these grunge bands even came along. But nobody seems to acknowledge that because these bands weren't successful. They didn't catch on. They weren't popular, you know. But the fashion wasn't that far removed, you know. And it's weird that nobody ever brings this up, ever mentions it. And some people don't remember it at all. But this CD's probably tough to find. They only had 1 CD out, Child's Play. The entire CD is fucking awesome. Like, just amazing. And, yeah, it's a shame. But the drummer's kick ass, too. Really good drummer. He ended up going on to play for kind of a new metal band, SR71. The drummer for Child's Play ended up going to SR71. Yeah. So, anyway, guys, I think that's going to be it. Airborne Rocker, you got that CD? That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it for this edition of DDLive. I had such a blast hanging out with you guys tonight, talking music, talking funnies, talking troll comments, and yeah, this was fun. But yeah, you're right, Erica. Time does fly. Jesus. But I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I hope you guys have a Company of Wolves CD. I don't think I ever... There's a lot of these bands that slip through the cracks that I know. Like, I didn't hear of every band, but, you know, there's... Like, I used to watch Headbangers Ball, okay? Taffer. And that's how I would find all my bands. I would go to Headbangers Ball, and I would check out all these videos that would come on. And I would literally write down the bands if I'd never heard the song. And man, it was a magical time to be alive, like 1990, 1991 era. A lot of these newer bands, they were just cut as soon as Nirvana came. But man, I think there was a lot of talent there. And yeah, so. But yeah, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I love you guys to death. You keep me going. You are my my mojo, my energy. Love you guys to death. So anyway, guys, have a great